Hello Sonites, welcome back. I hope you are all fine, safe and healthy. It is Mr. Karan once again. I welcome you and I bring you back to my next video. Today the video I'll be making for grade 7, that is for mathematics. And then the name of the chapter which I have selected today is chapter 4, length, mass and capacity. My dear students, today's topic is going to be a very short topic. Hardly it will take maybe around like 5, 7 to 10 minutes. So I expect you to go through it. Now let's get back to the point. Now the chapter topic is length, mass and capacity. Whenever we talk about length, mass and capacity, we always remember the units. The metric units become a very important factor. Say example like you are doing a 100-meter sprint, right? It cannot just be 100. It has to follow the unit, whether it is a meter or whether it's a kilometer, right? Or whether it's a centimeter. So the unit becomes a very important factor. So here I have written down some few points, which is there in the textbook as well. Metric units, when we use length, so the unit becomes the units are millimeter, centimeter, meter, and kilometer. Since I did not have enough space there, so I have just written it km, kilometer. And for mass, we use gram, kilogram, and ton. However, we still have one more in between. We also use the unit there is known as quintal. And now the next one is capacity. What does capacity mean? Capacity means the volume which anything could hold. Say example, like you can take a bowl and you can fill it with water. That becomes the capacity or the volume. So we always measure it in terms of milliliter and liter, right? So now the units to measure when it comes to area. Always remember when it comes to area we use square units, right? Say example like area of a square. Say the side of a square is 4 meter, you're asked to find the area. So side square becomes 16 meters square. So in that case, it follows with the square units. When it comes to volume, it comes with a cubic unit, right? So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are a few points I want you to be very clear with. And now, when I was going to exercise 4.1, so 4.1 I will leave totally to you. It's why? Because it's just an estimation, right? All you have to do is you have to estimate, and then you have to put the units. Now, when you know these things, see the best thing when you know that length should be measured in terms of meter, centimeter, kilometer, that becomes it comes under that. If it's a mass, the metric units are given there. If it's a capacity, the metric units are given there. So using these three, you will be able to do 4.1. Because in 4.1, almost all the questions are estimated. Say, just for an example, in question number 5, Mahal keeps chickens. She estimates that the weight of one chicken egg is 75 grams. Is this a reasonable estimate? Give answer for your, or give reason for your answer. Who knows? Who knows that egg may not exactly be 75 grams. It may be more than that, or it may be less than that. That's an estimate, the nearest that you could reach, right? It's totally up to you, and that's the reason why I'm saying like I'll leave 4.1 to you totally, so that you do your own estimates, and then it doesn't matter whether it is right or wrong, as long as your estimations are correct, it's gonna be totally fine. So what I want to do right now is I'll move on directly to 4.2, right? 4.2. Before we go to 4.2, there are two important things that I would want you to remember. In foreign countries, in India we do not use it, but in foreign countries, the measurement for speed and all, it's not all the countries, but there are a few countries, like you can take an example of like UK, US, right? And then the Western countries, they use miles rather than kilometers. They do use kilometers also, do at times, but most of the time they use miles only, right? So this new exercise, this 4.2, we are going to deal with that. Okay, so how do you convert kilometer to miles and miles to kilometer? That is very simple. In order to convert from kilometer to miles, simply multiply by 5 by 8. You have to do is multiply by 5 by 8, right? From miles to kilometer, multiply by, just reciprocate 8 by 5, right? So 4.2, exercise 4.2. Question number 1. The question here is, write down true or false for each of these statements. Number 8, 15 miles is further than 15 kilometers. Now, 15 miles is further than 15 kilometers. Now, they are asking us whether it is true or false, right? So what we can do is we can either change any of the unit, right? Here, 15 miles, if I convert it in terms of kilometer, let's see how much do we get. In order to convert miles to kilometer, we multiply by 8 by 5, right? So this 15 miles can be 15 into 8 upon 5, 5, 3, 15, 24 kilometer. So 15 miles is further than 15 kilometer. On the other side, the statement becomes 24 kilometer is further than 15 kilometer. So which gives us the correct comparison. That means 24 kilometer is further down than 15 kilometer. So the statement will be true, correct? I'll do one more sum from here. So that would be number C. That would be 2.5 kilometer is further, F-U-R-T-H-E-R, further than 2.5 miles. It depends on which you want to convert. Either you want to convert a kilometer into miles and then do the comparison, or you want to convert miles into kilometer and do the comparison. It's totally up to you. Either way, it's correct. Either way, it's correct only. So let's try to. Now first, let's convert this kilometer and let's see how much miles did we get. Definitely, if we try to convert kilometer in terms of miles, it will be less. But let's just see. So 2.5 kilometer. Now here we are converting kilometer to miles. Kilometer to miles. So what we do here is multiply by 5 by 8. Right? Multiply by 5 by 8. So 2.5 into 5, I get 125 divided by 8. So when I divide 12.5 divided by 8, let's see, 8 ones are 8, right? I get here 4, 5, 8 5s are 40, right? 8 6s are 48, right? It'll go on like that. So here I get 1.56 miles. Now, we can get an easy comparison, we can get an easy picture whether 1.56 miles is greater or 2.5 miles is greater. Here it says 1.56 miles is further than 2.5 miles. So the statement here is false, because 1.56 miles is less than 2.5 miles. I hope that is clear with you. Okay, let's move on to question number 2. Question number 2. Read what Tanisha says. My brother lives 35 kilometers from house. Okay? So this is Tanisha's statement. She says that her brother lives that is 35 kilometers from her house, and her sister lives 35 miles from her house. So her sister lives 35 miles from her house. Okay. Now the question here is, I live closer to my brother than my sister. So Tanisha is saying that, like, since her brother lives 35 kilometers from her house and her sister lives 35 miles from her house, she says that she lives closer to her brother than to her sister. See, I live closer to my brother than to my sister. Now, what you can do is, like, it's very simple. You can either convert this kilometer in terms of miles and then check, or you can convert that miles in terms of kilometer and then you check. In this case, let's try to do this. Since miles is more than kilometer, so let's try to convert it. 35 miles. So 35, when we convert miles to kilometer, will be multiplied by 8 upon 5. 5 7s are 35, 7 8s are 56 kilometer. Now here it's 35 kilometer and here is 56 kilometer. So what is Tanisha saying? Tanisha says that she lives closer to her brother than to her sister. That means her statement is correct, because she lives because her brother lives 35 kilometers from her house, whereas her sister lives 56 kilometers from her house. That means, and then the statements she's making, she says like she lives closer to her brother, which is a totally correct statement. It's a correct statement or correct answer. And when it says like explain your answer, you can show this below that. Okay. Now moving on to the next question. Question number 3. Copy and complete these conversions of kilometers into miles. There are 3 questions here. I'll do A and B because A is already almost half done. So number A is 64 kilometer. 64 divided by 8 equals to 8. 8 into 5 equals to, there is a box here, given miles. And this our A and our B here. 40 kilometer. 40 divided by 8. Here we have a box. And here we have a box into 5 equals to box miles. So you don't have to get confused. Remember here, see they are converting kilometers into miles. We can use directly this method, kilometer to miles. You can directly multiply here by 5 by 8 and here say 5 by 5 upon 8. So they have already done this one. 8 into 8, 5 times gives us 40 miles. 64 kilometers equals to 40 miles, right? Now 40 kilometers, 40 divided by 8, right? Since we are converting 40 divided by 8, we get as 5. And this 5 goes here. 5 into 5 gives us 25. Now, if you have a confusion here, like whether the answer is correct or not, simple, just take this 25. Now, reverse it from miles to kilometer. Multiply by 8 by 5. 5 5 is 25, gives us 40 kilometer, which is correct. Okay? Now, moving on to the next one. 3. Now, question number 4. Question number 4, there are 4. So, I'll just do one because like everything like one sum and then it'll be easier for you to understand. It will be easy for you to understand. Number 4, let me do B. 48 kilometers. The question here is convert these distances into miles. No? It's very simple. We have to convert this into miles by using that formula, right? So 48 kilometers becomes 48 into 5 upon 8. 8 6 is 48. 6 into 5 gives us 30 miles. So that's all, right? Now, for question number 5. Question number 5. Even in question number 5, they have given 3 sums, right? So let me do one. Let me do 2. A 55 miles. 55 divided by 5 equals to 11. 11 into 8 equals to box kilometer, right? Number B. 20 miles. 20 divided by 5 equals to box, and box into 8 equals to box. So number A, nothing to be done because it's almost all done. All we have to do is just multiply. 11, 8 times gives us 88, right? Number B, when we divide 20 by 5, we get the answer as 4. This 4, we take it here, and 4 8 times gives us 32 kilometers, right? So now if you want to check it whether that answer is correct or not, let's reverse it back from kilometer to miles. So that is 32 kilometer. In order to reverse from kilometer to miles, what do? We multiply by 5.8. 32 into 5 by 8. 8 4 is 32, 20 miles. So, which gives us a correct answer. So moving on to question number 6. Simple. I shall do only a sum here because it's the same as question number 4. But the difference here is in question number 4, we converted from distance, from kilometers to miles. Here we will convert from miles to kilometers, right? We will use the same thing, miles to kilometer, 8 upon 5 multiplied by. So let me do one sum, that is C, 125 miles. So we have to convert it to kilometers, right? So 125 miles to kilometer will be 8 upon 5. Cancel. 5 2 times, 5 5 times, right? So 25, 8 times, 8 times 40, 0, 4, it goes 16, that is 200. Yeah. So that's it. You'll follow the same way, and then you'll do A, B, and D. Now, out of question number 7 and question number 8, I'll do one sum. Maybe let me do question number 7. Question number 8, you can practice it on, right? Number 7. Which is further, 104 kilometers or 70 miles? 104 kilometers or 70 miles? We are asked which is further, right? It's very simple. Either way you can change. If you want to change from kilometer to miles, so what I will do here is 104 kilometer, 70 miles. I will change miles to kilometer, and then let's see. 70 into, from miles to kilometer we use 8 upon 5, right? 5 1 times, right? 5 2 times. So here gives us 104 kilometer. Here we have 104 kilometer. 12 into 8 gives us 96 kilometers, right? This miles I have converted to kilometer. Kilometer I haven't touched yet, right? Now you can see here the question, which is further, 104 kilometer or 96 kilometer, right? The answer is very simple. 104 kilometer is further. So please use the same method and do question number 8. I'll do question number 9 now. Question number 9, I'll do one sum. Since you have all the answers given there already, right? So, number B, question number 9, B, 105 miles equals to box kilometer, right? So, 105 miles, if I change in terms of kilometer, will be, miles to kilometer will be 8 upon 5. Simple, 5 2 is 10, 5 into 1. 8 into 1 is 8, 8 2 is 60. We have 168 kilometers already given, right? And yeah, the rest, the answers are already given there. Please try it, and then you try to cover it up. So that's all for today. That's all in this video. Now, I would say, like, today's video was very short. I do understand, but please make sure that 4.1. You have to do it by yourself. And then I'm very happy, and then I'm very glad that there are students who calls up and clarify the doubts. Please do that, because it is not possible for us to teach everything in one video. So please feel free, do WhatsApp or do call up, and then definitely I'll try to help you out. And for the PPTs, which will be uploaded in the same day, please make sure that you do complete the assignments, and then please make sure that you submit the assignments on time. It becomes very hard, and it becomes quite impossible for us to keep a track, because when you people don't give on time the assignment, it becomes double for us. And then there are students who, who are the ones who submit at the 11th hour, please. And if you are sending your assignments, please make sure that you send it on time. So many students, they send after 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, which is not very appreciating. Please make sure that you send your videos on time. Stay safe, stay healthy, and study well. All the best.